Welcome back to this week's edition of Bullsheet.
Bullsheet.
I am your host, Chase Wilson, here with the one and only poor people's advocate, Joel Williams. How you doing today, Joel?
I'm in a good mood. I'm ready to talk about some sports. We got the Super Bowl coming up. Feeling jazzed about that. Of course, I'm going to go with the Patriots, which is highly controversial.
Why is that so controversial?
Oh, just this little thing called Deflategate.
Well,
at least that's what they're calling it on the internet. I don't know. In more civilized circles, they probably...
Did Bill Belichick know?
I don't think so. I thought last I heard they had some footage of a equipment manager going into the bathroom.
Does Tom Brady know? Did he know?
I think he's got to know.
I mean...
I think you can feel. I saw the demonstration on ESPN. Did I tell you about that? Can we talk about ESPN?
Go ahead.
Is it too late now?
Go ahead.
Okay. Trey Wingo, who was a reporter on there, a correspondent, had the former Rams running back, Jerome Bettis, who is now...
I believe you meant to say Steelers, but okay.
Oh, I see. He was Rams and Steelers, but when I think of him, I always think Rams. But okay. And he had Mark Brunell, former Jacksonville Jaguar, and they tried 3 different balls inflated at 3 different pressures. Now, the NFL calls for the balls to be inflated between 11.5 and 13.5 psi. And these balls were each marked differently. One was the pink ribbon for the breast cancer awareness. One was the camouflage ribbon to commemorate the veterans. And then one was the Super Bowl ribbon. And each were inflated at different volumes. One was overinflated. I think they had it at 15. One was right at on the money. And the other one was around 8 or 9, somewhere around there. But less than average, optimal. And those guys, just by passing it around for just 30 seconds, were able to discern which one, in degrees of scale. They were able to go, this one's most inflated, this one's the middle, this one's the least.
Well, wouldn't that make sense, though? You squeeze the ball, there's a tension.
My point being is that, going back to who knew and when, Tom Brady had to have known.
But he didn't have the other ball as a reference. He doesn't have the full ball to... Oh, yeah, that one's a little more firm.
Okay, I'll give you that. But he's 14 years in the league. You can make an argument that this guy has felt a lot of different balls. And on his
face, right?
He probably knows. He probably goes, man, this is more than average. This is less than average.
Okay, here's my next question. Should he have said something?
Does he have a duty? No, he doesn't.
I mean,
he doesn't have a duty.
The competitor in all of this is like, if he's not the one letting the air out, is he cheating?
No, that's found money. He does not have a duty. It's the equipment manager's duty. That's a good point.
So, Robert Kraft just came out and said,
he wants an apology.
He wants an apology. But this equipment manager who's staff with New England.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how does that work? I was told that they give the 12 balls to the umpire on the referee staff at 2.5 hours prior to the game.
The way it sounds, not only did he have the Patriots balls, he had the Colts balls as well. So.
Well, okay, now let's back up to when it was first noticed. DeQuell Jackson is the linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts, made an interception from Tom Brady. Caught the ball. The ball that he caught, he mentioned to somebody, wow, this feels a little, he mentioned it to someone, right? Now here's the speculation. If DeQuell Jackson would have never said anything, who would have ever known? Because the Patriots had the possession almost the whole entire game from there on. You know what I mean?
Well,
does it matter that they won 45-7?
It's good they won 45-7. Because if that game is 21-28...
That's a controversy. I mean, that's a problem.
I think the issue is minimized by the score.
Yes. And halftime.
Yeah,
the fact that they changed balls out at halftime, so it would have mitigated any from that point on. It would have been a fair game. So,
but here's my question: Who in the NFL made the decision to change the balls out? And then, who made the decision not to bring it up? How is that? How is there not a powwow immediately at the start of the second half? Belichick.
Probably because it wasn't so egregious. That's my thinking. Because like I was telling you about that ESPN demonstration, doesn't have to be a lot. What Jerome Bettis, and I forgot to add this, what Jerome Bettis said about the underinflated ball, this is something that we take for granted, that it's always about passing. It's always a boon to the passer. It's also a boon to the running back, because what Jerome Bettis was saying is when a ball is underinflated, he can tuck it better, meaning a defender can't get their hand in and knock it clear. And what he was saying is he preferred the balls to be underinflated. Aaron Rodgers came out and said that he preferred them overinflated. Did you hear that?
So here's my question. If it was any other team, would we care?
Yes, that's a point that I think is lost on many people. The Patriots, for some reason, I don't know why, but they are hated. And I don't know, I think it maybe goes back to the 2007 Spygate scandal with...
I mean, they're my generation's Cowboys.
I like the Patriots. I think if Tom Brady wins this Super Bowl, he will rival Terry Bradshaw and, gosh, there's another quarterback, to Joe Montana for the 49ers.
What about if Russell Wilson wins? 2 Super Bowls in his first 3 years? Unprecedented success.
Are you pulling for Seattle? Or am I?
No, I literally have zero desire to even watch this game.
You don't want to see Katy Perry at halftime?
I do want to see Katy Perry. But I don't want to see Seattle. I don't want to see New England.
Seattle's got one of the best defenses out there. I'm going to watch it just to watch their defense.
I am in the minority, but I think the NFL has a problem.
With trustworthiness or with the excitement of the game?
I think the game is boring. But who am I to say that? Because, last night they announced...
This is a guy that watches soccer, people. Just let him know. Put that in reference. Put that in perspective.
And who's not looking forward to tonight's U.S. men's national game against Chile?
A sport where it's not uncommon to go the whole game and nobody score.
I think I would rather go the whole game and nobody score than people have to cheat to score.
Oh, let's not get into the flopping. Don't get me started on that.
But back to what we were talking about. I don't care about New England. I live in Middle America. I sure as heck don't care about Seattle. Is that even an American city?
Washington.
I mean, it's basically Vancouver's little sister, right?
Yeah. So way high. It's really high, right by the border.
So I don't care about Seattle. I don't care about the Patriots. There's nothing. There's nothing. You're excited about this matchup? You're not tired. You're not tired of the Patriots?
It pisses me off that the Chiefs beat the Patriots. If the Chiefs had not beat the Patriots...
They beat the Patriots and the Seahawks.
Yes. That pisses me off. And I guess that's why I'm, upset about it so much. But I have to say that, later after that happened...
Who knocked the Chiefs out of the playoffs again? Wait.
The Raiders.
That's right.
The only undefeated, or the only team that got... Okay, well, don't get me started on that. But the point I'm trying to make is that here you have arguably one of the best defenses in 5 years, maybe, in the Seahawks. And I think you have to go back to Tampa Bay with Warren Sapp and Nickers. What's his name? Who's the middle? Brooks. You'd have to probably go back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Let me get this straight. Soccer's boring because they play defense.
No, because they fail to score. That's the problem.
Well, isn't that the whole purpose of defense, is to keep someone from scoring?
I guess you could say...
So you're telling me that the thing you're excited about for this game is the same thing you hate about soccer?
I hadn't thought about it that way, but I don't hate... No, let me back up. The Patriots on their offense, their Gronkowski, their Erdeman, what's his name? Julian Edelman, and man, they've got... I think it's finely matched. I think it's a good balance between... You got here a very potent offense, a very, very good defense. I think it's going to be a good game. And I'm not. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout, and that's what I'm happy about. Most Super Bowls lately seems to be they're blowouts.
Last year, I think most people thought the Broncos would win, right?
Is Peyton Manning done?
No, I think he's back.
Okay.
I think he's back. But, like I said, last year, I think most people were on the bandwagon for
Broncos. Broncos.
Yeah.
So go back up to your statement. The Patriots are this generation's Cowboys?
Yeah, I think I don't remember the super potent Cowboys teams, the Aikman teams. I was like 10, man. So
Emmitt Smith.
I don't really remember that.
Charles Haley.
But the Cowboys were America's team because of how successful they were. But I think that's a lot like the Yankees. That success comes with a certain amount of detractors.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think the Patriots are at that mark now. I mean,
maybe
this would be if Tom Brady wins, it'll be his fourth.
Made a lot of more appearances though. They've lost twice to
the Giants.
Giants, Eli Manning.
Does that matter?
Let's look at Joe.
Took one of the greatest catches in history to beat him last time.
How many times did Terry Bradshaw go up against the Cowboys though and lost?
I'm not sure.
I mean, they were perennial enemies, the Cowboys and the Steelers back in the day. I mean, those were the two teams that battled almost. It seemed like every Super Bowl they were.
So you're taking the Patriots. Vegas has it as a pick 'em. So you pick a team.
Oh, it's even.
It's even right now. Who do you take?
The Patriots, and I'm gonna give it +3 on the Patriots.
So the Patriots -3.
-3? Is that what they say? Mm-hmm. I want them to win by 3 points.
Okay.
So is that -3?
-2.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that, and yeah, I like them. That Gronkowski and that Edelman and who's the other wide receiver they got?
I'll go a step further. I don't want the Patriots to win, but I'm taking the Patriots to win, and I'm going to say by 10 or more.
Wow. Against that defense. Woo, that's ballsy.
The Patriots aren't going to choke like Green Bay did. Can we think about that for a second?
That was a hell of a game. You talk about Russell Wilson pulling a rabbit out of his hat.
He didn't do anything. 4 interceptions.
Well, he must have done something. They won with what was it? Less than 2 minutes in the game. They went into overtime, and I mean
they won because
they didn't give up.
They won because a Green Bay tight end thought he should try to catch an onside kick, and he shouldn't.
Oh yeah, that was stupid.
So I mean, that ball was headed right towards Jordy Nelson. That was game over.
Do the Chiefs have one of the best special teams in the league?
No.
You don't think so? Okay.
Why are we talking about the Chiefs? Nobody cares about the Chiefs.
Well, okay. Well, I do.
When the Rams moved to LA, and the Chiefs could move to St. Louis, right?
No, I want them to stay in Kansas City. I want them to stay in St. Louis. Justin Houston didn't make it to the Pro Bowl. How do you feel about that?
I feel like that's about the silliest thing I've ever heard.
You don't care, or
well, I've made this argument to you, but no one cares about the Pro Bowl. So, like the least
those players play. Those players care. Their agents care.
Well, yeah, because they get a bonus. I mean, does it not say something about?
It looks good on your resume when you quit.
But people bow out. Like, what's it say about your All-Star game?
You're missing the point. The game itself is a cherry on top. It's just the sundae, the actual, ice cream and whipped cream is the work that it took to get nominated and get elected.
So why play the game?
The game is it's my PR thing.
See,
but being selected to the Pro Bowl, putting in the hard work to get on that ballot is what matters. And the game is just a recognition, a time for them. It's like in NASCAR when the racer wins the race and they take that victory lap. That's what the Pro Bowl is. So they can wave the fans and show off. do the spin outs on the grass. That's what the Pro Bowl is. The hard work is already done.
Ladies and gentlemen, an African American male just made a reference to NASCAR. I'd go ahead and say your prayers tonight. I'm not real sure what just happened, but
is that a good analogy?
Do you have a hockey hot take you want to give as well?
No, I don't. I can't get into that. Although I have to give him credit for what you were saying, Chase Dog, and I do acquiesce at this point, is that the Pro Bowl could make more attempts to be, because it is a victory lap, they could try to remove all the pretense of the real game and just go and be spectacular. Be
do something I haven't seen
exhibitionist.
Before. Yeah.
Be like the hockey and what you said, it had some kind of shootout from the 50-yard line or something.
Like, just scrap the game. Just do something fun. Like, instead of playing the game, line your Pro Bowl quarterbacks up there and see who can throw the damn ball the farthest.
I think that would be good. Because you're probably too young to remember, but I remember Jerry Rice and them, they had this thing on ABC where it was, at the end of the football season, they would have them do they call it the celebrity obstacle course, or I can't remember, but they would have like the chick from Three's Company, Suzanne Summers, and then they would have like Deion Sanders, and then they would have them doing these obstacles, like jumping across a lake on a rope, or all these things under time, and they had two different teams, and it was a celebrity thing for charity, but it was hella fun to watch.
Like, wouldn't you much rather see Odell Beckham Jr. like
circus
catching into a swimming pool like everyone has always done? Everyone's done that, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather see something like that than this football game where they don't allow blitzing?
Yeah.
No one really tries to tackle anyone.
Somebody said they might as well wear flags with the amount of, but I don't know. That Matthew Stafford won the MVP for that game, and that dude was hot. I forgot how good he is, the Detroit Lions quarterback.
I just think, for me, it provides almost no enjoyment.
The way it is now. And, we forgot to mention this year's Pro Bowl, they're unrolling a lot of new, they're testing out a lot of new stuff. They're testing out this whole...
The NFL's dying, right?
I think they're picking up steam in the Latino market. That's the fastest growing demographic, Mexico, for the NFL.
We're all going to be playing soccer in 20 years.
Okay, you say that.
Once the money gets there.
Now, here's the deal. There's a knock on soccer. I think it was you that told me this stat, and I was amazed. My jaw hit the ground that the number one concussion-related sport in grade school or high school is soccer. I always just assumed it was football. So soccer can't make this argument that, it's safer for your kids to play. That would be the death knell for football. And I think many parents are, what's the former coach for the Bears came out and said he wouldn't let his, Mike Ditka came out recently, I think within 2 weeks ago, said he's not going to let his kids play football, or his grandkids, or whatever. Hall of Famer.
Ditka!
So the death knell for football is not that it's boring. I think the death knell for it is that parents aren't going to let their kids play it. And,
the difference in soccer and football, at least what you're talking about, is soccer doesn't have that image of a kid laying lifeless on a field like football does. Like we've seen too often.
Well, are you denying that stat that the number one concussion-related sport? Are you saying no, that it's not soccer?
Well, I think it was the parameters of that stat was grade school.
Oh. Okay.
So I would have two questions. One being, how much hitting is going on in grade school level football? Not a lot. So I think the more accurate statistic I would like to see is what happens when you get to high school, college, and beyond.
Does any of this matter if the technology catches up where they make a helmet that is shown to mitigate the effects of I mean, seriously, would that be a moot point if you had a helmet that...
Well, I think it's soccer and football are in the same boat here, is You don't get a concussion in soccer from heading a soccer ball. You get a concussion in soccer from incorrectly heading a soccer ball. Wrong technique, taking it off the top of the head. Much like in football, if you're tackling correctly, most of the time, you're not going to get a concussion now.
I disagree. The offensive lineman, there's no way that you can come out
the
of
the game has to change there at the line.
Yeah. There's no way you can come out of a 4-point stance and not butt heads occasionally with the, that's I don't know any.
So why don't we just let them stand up?
The running game would definitely suffer. You're no fan of the running game.
Who is anyone a fan of the running game?
I guess I'm the only one. I'm the only one that watched Barry Sanders. And
why can't?
My God, Barry Sanders would change your whole opinion. I'm going to show you a highlight reel of Barry Sanders.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, why can't you still run the ball? Why can't it be on pitches? Why can't it be?
Because then it'd be an arena
spread
ball.
The field out.
It'll be arena ball. And have you ever seen how frustrating that is? Have you ever watched arena football? It's so frustrating. No? Are you a big fan of arena football?
I'm not a big fan of arena football, but
it's like watching. I can't believe I'm going to say this. It's misogynistic. I probably should not. I'll hold that.
Is it like watching girls basketball?
Yes. It's like it's maddening. It's maddening. You're like, come on.
So you made a NASCAR and girls basketball.
It's maddening.
Okay, so you're taking the Patriots. I'm taking the Patriots. Not a lot of disagreement there, but
I want to go MVP. Who's going to be the MVP? I'm going to pick the MVP right now. I say it's going to be Gronkowski.
No, it'd be Tom Brady. Patriots win. It'd be Tom Brady.
Okay.
So ask me a question.
About?
Just any question.
Oh, okay. Can we do sports or?
Yeah, but just ask me a question right now. I want you to ask me a question.
Why?
Just ask me a question.
He's got some game up his sleeve. Okay, the Oscars. There are no African American movies that made it to Oscars. How do you feel about that?
I'm only here, so I'm not fined.
Oh. Marshawn Lynch. You have to tell your viewers what the story behind the story. You have to bring them up to speed, give them some context.
Late breaking news, Adam Schefter style here. According to league sources, that's what he always says, right? Marshawn Lynch is not out of the woods just yet. A front office official with the NFL head office in New York confirmed with me today that they are investigating whether or not Marshawn Lynch violated the terms of the NFL's dress code by wearing an unsanctioned, unapproved hat on Super Bowl Media Day. Here's my question. Every NFL official is at Super Bowl Media Day. How do you not go, that hat doesn't look right? And you have him take off the hat. How does that not happen?
Don't they have rules that they can't speak directly to them? They have to talk to their agent when it comes to disciplinary management?
Is that the case?
I think so. I think it's like you have an attorney. You can't directly talk to that party. You have to talk to their representative.
And then here's my next thing. Are we going to see a change in NFL contracts to where you actually have to answer the media's question?
I think it depends on how obnoxious the media is being.
I mean, I listened to a lot of the questions. A lot of them were not obnoxious questions.
Okay.
A lot of them were.
Well, you remember the whole Richard Sherman debacle?
Yes.
They were hard on him. I mean, they were literally calling him a thug and.
Well, Richard Sherman, when he is on the field, he is as thug as they get. Now, I will say this. For every account, it sounds like it's a very intelligent individual.
Marshawn Lynch?
No.
Oh.
Richard Sherman.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Stanford grad.
Yeah, you can't get to Stanford being a B student.
But here's the deal. It's one thing when you're catching somebody on the field immediately after you just asked them to give everything.
Now, you and I disagree on that. You and I disagree. This is a guy, for the record, this Chase Dog, he doesn't like it when people spike the ball in the end zone.
No, I don't like when they high step.
He hates all that showmanship. But when it comes to Richard Sherman,
Did he not back it up?
it's not about that. It's the tauntingness of it that is
here's
so troublesome to me.
Here's my deal on that, as far as Richard Sherman goes. In my opinion, the NFL can never ask a player to literally pour his heart and soul into the game like they do. And then within 30 seconds of a game ending, not only a game ending, but a contested game where a play by Richard Sherman sealed the game for his team. You can't walk up to him 30 seconds later and not expect that dude. He is a warrior at that point still. Yeah. You got to give him a second to come back down off the mountain. Folks.
I got you. Okay, now I got you on that. Now, if you did that, if you were... the same thing happened, by the way, with CBS went to Afghanistan and interviewed a group of soldiers in whatnot, in the Korengal Valley. And Laura Logan famously told them, after a firefight, she stuck a microphone in somebody's face and these guys are talking about, I hope his face blew up, or I hope his arm came off. They were saying very graphic things about the enemy, and then 60 Minutes caught heat because they censored it. They didn't report it. Here's my deal. I've never been in a firefight like that. I've never had guys trying to kill me on the opposite end of the valley. So it's probably likely that if I'm juiced up with adrenaline, I'm 18, 20 years old, I'm probably going to say some inappropriate stuff right after the battle happened. Okay, so I get what you're saying about...
Just give them a minute.
I get what you're saying there.
My opinion is not that you should necessarily give them a minute. But if you go to them in that instance, you cannot be upset at what they say.
Now, here's my problem with Richard Sherman, is that after fall, what do you call it? After the game was over, and then the pushback from him, where he said, basically, why are you holding a double standard to me and all this other stuff? Look, the better move would be to say, yeah, I should have said that. But
I don't want him to say that. I want him to have the mentality that if the reason you're watching is for defense, I want Richard Sherman to think, literally, there's no one on the other side of the team that can beat me, and I will do anything in my power to prove it.
Okay, how is that any different than high-stepping to the end zone if you're the wide receiver that just made a catch over a guy, and he's the best at that position, you're the best at your position?
How is high-stepping to the end zone proving something?
You are basically showing, look how easy I'm making this look.
No, here's what I want from that person. Run as fast as you flipping can to the end zone. Prove you're the superior athlete. Don't high step and get.
Oh, wait. And you're not having the ball and crossing the plane.
And furthermore,
enough.
Furthermore, white people hate this. I'm one of them. If I see another wide receiver drop the flipping football as he crosses the stinking goal line, I'm going to lose my mind.
We talked about changing the rule, and I'm in agreement with you on that one. What was your suggestion?
I think it should be points for the other damn team.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know if I go that way.
At what point? What point, NFL high-level college athlete? At what point did you forget how the game works? You're so excited that you're going to score a touchdown, and more power to you.
I don't believe in default points except for the safety. The safety is a presupposition that says the ball. Well, you were about to get sacked anyway, so we're going to make a compromise. We're going to say that you're going to give up 2 points and you're going to lose possession, and that will compromise. You won't have to give up. I agree with that because the end zone is so short. I understand the safety, so I will go for you on a safety on that move, but not a whole touchdown. I think that's a good compromise.
Oh, fine. Then if you drop the football as you're crossing the goal line, the ball goes back to where it was at the start of the play. I don't care.
Or just like a safety, the team gets 2 points, the opposite team, and then you lose possession. I think that's a fair compromise.
It's so silly to me when that happens. Oh,
I like your kicking. Tell them about that. I think that's awesome.
I'm tired of watching field goals. I'm so tired. If it's ever first and goal, if you have a down and goal to go, you can't kick a field goal.
No, talking about the graduated point system that you have.
What, putting rings up in the sky?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I think that's brilliant.
That'll never happen.
I think it's brilliant.
But I really do think if the NFL would enact a rule where if you get in goal down and goal to go, if it's 4th and goal and you're on the 50, you still can't kick a field goal. I don't care. If you can get down that far, field goal should go off the table. As a matter of fact, I don't ever want to see a field goal shorter than 45 yards. It's boring to me.
Even in the wind and snow? And rain?
Even in the wind and snow and rain. You got to go for it. There's a coach in Arkansas, high school coach. Very controversial. He never punts. He never kicks away on kickoffs. He always kicks an onside kick. He never goes for the extra point. Never kicks field goals. And his
law of averages. His theory.
His theory is law of averages is if you give me 4 downs, if in a 3-down system where you are punting and kicking, you got to average 3.5 yards a play to get the first down.
Okay. What is their running game like, though? Is it all pass offense?
No, I mean, he runs a standard offense. He's never going to punt. He's never going to kick the onside kick, and he's never going to kick a field goal. And his assessment is I've got to average 3.5 yards per down if I'm kicking, but if I'm going for it, that drops that number down below 3.
Here's the flaw in that strategy: is when you get into a tight game and there's only 4th and 1 yard to go and 30 seconds left on the clock. You're saying you wouldn't kick then? You would go for it?
He will kick a game-winning field goal. That's the only time he'll kick it. So that
you would be such a goat if you lost that game?
You would be, yes. But you also got to look at the other way, is the way they played got them to that point. Why change?
It's very ideological. The fact that they don't do it in the pros tells me it's not good. You don't think Bill Belichick...
Yeah, but the pros also have been real hesitant to move to this hurry-up offense, but I think if Chip Kelly's shown anything...
The Jets?
No, the Eagles.
Is he coming back? I thought they got Chudkowski or somebody.
No, Chip Kelly.
Okay.
Okay. If he's showing us anything, it's this hurry-up Oregon-style offense where you run this play as quick as you can, as fast as you can, as quick as you can. The NFL's adapting rules to allow them to really get up to speed because...
Yeah, the Pro Bowl, they shaved off the time from the game clock. I think they went from, what is it now, 24 seconds?
Yeah.
Down to, I want to say 15 seconds. They shaved off for the Pro Bowl game. To give you some context, the Pro Bowl is the game where the NFL showcases new rules that are on in the hat for the rules committee. So this offseason, the rules committee, NFL rules committee, which is essentially the richest coaches in the league, will get together and vote yay or nay on the new changes that they want. One of the proposals is to create timeouts that will carry over to the next half. So that way, now, as it is now, each team gets 3 timeouts per half. The NFL is proposing that you would be allowed to carry one of those timeouts if you don't use it to the next half. So theoretically, you could wind up in a game where a team would have 4 timeouts in the fourth quarter. And they're talking about there's no more killing the clock in the last 2 minutes, meaning...
Which about stinking time.
You like that one,
yes.
Huh? This basic premise is now in professional football when a team is in the last 2 minutes of the drive, or the game, the half or the game, typically they'll hand it to a fullback or a running back and they'll do a simple running play, hoping to get tackled and let the time grind off the clock. And so it's a way for the offense to keep possession of the ball and wear the clock down and deny their opponent a chance to score. The NFL's in the Pro Bowl this past weekend, they debuted this new idea, this concept where they were going to do away with that. So now the clock stops when a team runs the ball and gets stuff short of the first. So that's one of the new rules. The other one was the kicking rule. They're shortening the distance between the goalposts. How much is it, Chase Dog?
I'm not certain.
It's the posts as they are now, probably about 20 yards. No, not that much.
I think
probably
it was about 18 foot, and they were shortening it down to 14.
It was something like that. So it's the concept. Going back to Chase's point about how it's going to make the kicking more competitive. These kickers now in the pros rarely miss. Somebody figured out they're
It's like 95% of all.
when they're at within 40 yards, it's almost a sure thing. And so the NFL knows that they sense that there's some dissatisfaction with that, and so
it's boring.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but it's not as competitive as it could be, and so they're going to shank.
It's boring.
Yeah, so that's 3 of the new rules, and there's others. They don't come to mind right now. Something about the replay. They're going to change where you can challenge more plays, I think.
Are we going to get rid of this idea that Des Bryant didn't actually complete a catch? Is that going to go away finally?
I am in the camp with the NFL on that, Chase. I'm not. I have no dog in the hunt. I don't particularly like Des Bryant, but I know that he made the catch. But my argument is when he went to the ground, the ball bobbled in his hand.
Okay, but why?
Before he made a football move.
Okay.
And so that to me...
See, to me, the football move is made the second he reaches.
Was afterward. After the ball shook on the ground. It does this little... It does a little... I don't know how to explain it.
We watch different videos.
Yeah. I have not... Again, maybe you're right. Maybe I haven't seen the take where I'm like, oh, because that happens a lot in pro football, where I'll see one angle and I'm dead sure that was, and then I'll see another angle and I'm like, oh. So maybe I haven't seen that one. But the one I saw, and the one I think the NFL saw, is that when he hit the ground, the ball, still had it in his hands, but it wobbled around. And that wobbling around, to me, is sufficient grounds to say that there was a lack of control, grasp and control. And so...
Why is that the only time a ground can cause it?
It's a stupid rule. I'm not arguing that it's not a dumb rule, but it is the rule. The rule needs to change. It needs to be the same as the fumble, where the ground can't cause the fumble. But there is a difference there for some reason for a caught ball, a pass and a catch.
Yeah, well, just another example of the NFL trying to make it hard on the colored brother.
Well, there's probably a lot of 1,500 millionaires that are probably saying the opposite, that they got rich off the NFL. Marshawn Lynch being one of them. I saw, and this is off topic, but I saw I want to say it was Vice. I think it was Vice. Vice went with Marshawn Lynch to his hood in Oakland, California, and he went to a mall and bought, the middle of the mall. You know what I'm talking about? Brothers from the city know what I'm talking about. When you go to buy jewelry and it's in the middle of the mall, they call it middle of the mall jewelry. It's not Zales, it's not Jared, it's the guy that's in the middle, Pakistani guy that's in the middle of the mall, has a little kiosk. He went to the middle of the mall where is that? That's on, is it in Embarcadero? It's on, anybody that's been to Oakland will know, but it's the big mall on the west side near the Lake Merritt. But he went in there and bought some gold teeth, and he was talking about his first gold teeth that he ever had. You know what I'm talking about, these grills that they're wearing? And somebody questioned him about wearing a grill while he's playing the game, while he's on the field playing in the NFL. And he says, I've always worn a grill. And he goes back, tells the story about when he got his first grill. He worked all summer to get the money. He got his grill. He went to a Burger King. For some reason, he thought you had to take your grill out when you eat. He took them out, put them on the tray that they gave him, and when they got up to leave, he threw it out in the trash accidentally, and came back that night and dug through the dumpster until he found the grill. I know.
Is that something in African American culture? Because to me, that's just like white folk don't like braces. Why the heck would we want to put metal all over our mouth?
It's a status symbol, kind of like you guys would go rolling coal. It's something like that. It doesn't make sense logically, but you get it if you're from that culture. Huh? Is that a good analogy?
I don't know. I don't even know. I mean,
yeah. To outsiders, it's completely silly and it makes no sense. But to people from that culture, yeah, that's something.
Mr. Steal Your Girl.
I was gonna say no flex zone. That's what I was gonna say. They know better.
Is that still your jam? Are you still?
I think you're not giving it credit for the the originality of that song. It really is a good song.
I mean,
anytime you convince Mike Epps to drive up in a Lamborghini or a Ferrari in your video, guest appearance, cameo appearance,
but
that's saying something.
And not only be a cameo appearance, but be made fun of in the process.
Yes, yes. We're just gonna have to pay some copyright fees for that.
This is what we're getting down to downstairs, right? I don't know. I mean, it's not bad, but
that song is on hit. I think that song right there is the song of 2014.
You think?
For hip hop, it should be.
Whew.
I know that's a bold statement, but
that's a real bold statement.
I hear a lot of hip hop nowadays that I just, what? Kanye, looking at you. I can't understand Kanye West at all.
You're not a Yeezus fan?
I listen, when Chris Rock comes out and they interview Chris Rock and they say, what are some of the best rap music you've ever heard? And Chris Rock recommends you should see Kanye West's My Something Period, My Whatever. I literally went out and tried to find it so I could see what because I respect Chris Rock. I think he's one of the best comedians ever. And when I heard it, I was like, are you kidding me?
Were you a little underwhelmed?
It was like somebody was talking over a soundtrack. I mean, there's no skill, there's no artistry, there's no originality. He is, to me, I just don't understand it. Maybe that's it. Maybe I don't get it. To me, what I just heard No Flex Zone from Ears Drummers or whatever, what they call them, whatever.
Razor Ramon, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's Ear Drummers spelled backwards for the uninitiated. But, I think that is so much more original. It's more talented. It's just better. And these are some young kids from Mississippi. And for me, as far as hip hop, I look for originality. That's why you got kids in Japan that are graffitiing and doing breakdancing in South Korea. It's because it's original. And so when I hear Kanye West and his stuff, it's like, what? This isn't nothing new.
So you're not down with Kanye?
I haven't heard anything other than no prenup or what is it? Don't prenup. That was the only song that I thought was somewhat good.
But you weren't that big of a fan?
Nah, never have been. I admire him that he's got these beautiful women. I mean, Amber Rose, are you kidding me? And then Kim Kardashian, but I don't get it.
You still think Amber Rose is attractive, huh?
She blew up Instagram last week. Did you see her in that string bikini in Miami, South Beach? This is after she had a baby. I mean, this chick is easily top 10 material.
No.
Chase Dog doesn't like her because she happens to have a few pounds on her. He thinks that if a chick is over 120 pounds, all of a sudden she's...
I know that TMZ was making fun of her about her Instagram blow up.
It was...
Are you talking about the picture where she was sitting on a bike and looked like...
That one, and then she's on the
and literally everyone was making fun of her about that?
I didn't hear
Fat's fat, man. It's not attractive.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily call her fat. And I don't know, how... Is this G-rated? Because I was going to talk about something else.
We're not way past G-rated.
Well, the titties are real. I mean, that people talk all they want about, who's this chick that everybody's all on now? And I'm like, it's not real. It's not... Don't you get points? Shouldn't you get points for real? I feel like it's extra credit, you know? I do. I feel like you should get graded differently than... Kaylee Kuko or whatever.
Easy now.
No, I mean, she came out and said that her breast implants were the best thing that ever happened to her. And I was just like, why does that not matter in the big scheme of things?
Because Amber Rose is not attractive. Amber Rose looks like a man.
Amber Rose was with Ford Models. Do you know who Ford Models is? These are the same people who handle, what's her name? Tom Brady's girlfriend. From Brazil. Supermodel. Gisele Bundchen. You can't get to be a Ford model. It's like the pinnacle of modeling. You gotta be. You have to. Your look has to be so unique and so good. It's just known. If you're a Ford model, you're in the modeling business. That you can do whatever you want. You know, Yves Saint Laurent, Chanel, whatever. You know, you've arrived. I'm saying, Chase Dog, that you may not think she is, but you're not. You're an American white guy. She is attractive maybe in France, in Italy, in places where our notion of beauty maybe not applicable. See what I'm getting at? She's world-class beauty.
Top 10, huh?
Yeah. What I saw last week, I was like, man, I'm a believer now. And she does this with no hair, folks. No hair. If she had long hair, it would be lights out. She's definitely one of the top. I think she's just vacant. She's dumb. I think she has no There's a reason why Kanye left her, and then Wiz Khalifa. There's a reason there. There's something.
Like, how would you like to be? But think about this. Now, whoever she's with, you have to look at Wiz on her arm.
I know. That's just those tattoos are. That's what spoils her. Is those tattoos? They're the ugliest tattoos ever. Terrible.
I mean, Amber Rose is not pretty. I don't care what you're saying.
Chase doesn't particularly care for her. But this is the guy who thinks Kate Upton is all that.
No, I do not actually.
Who got all ecstatic when he found the video? Teach me how to Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie. He couldn't wait till he showed it to me. Oh, you don't recall? It was like a big deal for you.
I don't recall, but
yeah.
I mean, look at Amber Rose. I mean, she's so ugly.
That's not her. Show the picture. Show the one not that one. Show the picture from the balcony. You can probably find it on Source magazine or. Tell you, man, she's a natural beauty. And
you mean this one?
Yes, that's the one I'm talking about, bro. Yes, that's top 10 material right there. You can't show that.
I just did.
That's top 10 material, bro.
I don't know that it's even.
Huh?
No, it's not.
It's flawless. And that's after she had a baby. Can you imagine?
And then you get this one, and I mean, TMZ was lighting her up on that. That is unattractive.
Let me see. Or is there cellulite or something?
It's just unattractive.
Oh.